Yep, and then I'll be able to give you the microphone for you to talk about your solution. We just want to hear from like three volunteers maximum, and yeah, we shall be good to go. All right. Any volunteers, anyone building and they're believing in the solution and they want to talk about it, this is the opportunity for you to shield yourself. So who's ready? Going once. Perfect. Caleb, yes, go for it. Caleb, can you hear me? Feel free to.
Hi. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Loud and clear.
So my name is Caleb Samante. I am a founder. I've been building on an AI-powered wait just a second, an AI-powered web copilot that helps people trade. The whole idea was that I built something autonomous and AI-powered to help people try and trade on the Avalanche blockchain ecosystem. So it bridges the gap between decentralized finance and conversational artificial intelligence by operating directly inside Telegram. So I chose Telegram because it's something most people have or can install in their phone. So it's not. So I was trying to bridge this gap that blockchains you have to be knowledgeable in it enough. I wanted even people who don't have a lot of knowledge to interact with trading on ecosystems on the Avalanche blockchain. So interacting with it helps users interact with decentralized protocols, which requires people to understand gas fees and slippage and liquidity pools and smart contract addresses. So it removes that friction that people lazima uelewe yote ndo uweze cooperate. That was the whole logic. So I wish I could like share my screen or something.
Okay, no problem. So we just wanted to hear the main solution, main pain point that you're building a solution for as we kill time to start in the next second. But thank you, Caleb, for that.
Yeah, sorry, I got carried away by sorry about that.
I see. I love that because it means you're actually passionate about your solution, which is good.
Yeah.
And I hope you're coming to the Night of Code that is happening this week on Friday at Blockchain Center so that you can know more about the product. Yeah, and see and really see how we can support you. All right, cool. So thank you so much for your confidence as well. So we will now get right into it. I'm sure most of the people have already joined in, so should be fine. Okay, cool. So give me 1 minute. Let me just set everything up. Just confirm you can see my screen, guys. I think today. Okay, cool. Perfect. I see most of you can see my screen. Amazing. So wow, it's literally officially session 7 of mini hack building agentic systems, and yay, so far I'm so excited. It's been an amazing journey with you all, guys, and finally we are almost coming to an end. So yeah, So this is like our second last session with you all. Our last session will be this week on Thursday. So you want to make sure you actually show up for the last session because yeah, it's gonna be great. So before we begin, please, we encourage everybody to actually turn on your cameras. Oops, I can't do this. Okay. Yeah, so turn on your cameras because we want to see you, we want to celebrate you. I'm able to turn on my camera after I've done presenting. So yeah, I I appreciate I act as well. So do not give me those side eyes. And then yeah, so I'm waiting for you all to turn on your cameras, and in case you're not speaking, feel free to mute because we want to ensure that everybody has a good experience during these sessions. And then right about now, if you are here on the call and you can hear my voice, I'd love for you to drop your name in the chat. Tell us where you're joining from. And yeah, we'd love to know you better. And then we encourage you to actually ask questions freely. There's no dumb questions here, and be present. And yeah, so we hope that you're able to actively contribute, actively participate, ask any questions that you may have freely, and yeah, join us as you're building a powerhouse today. So we have declarations that we always say. I'm sure by now you all have actually mastered some of these declarations, which is good. So I will quickly allow us to get into the declarations. So I'm still wondering if you all can hear me because I don't see anyone with their cameras on. I see Joseph, I see Anthony. Great. Thank you so much for turning on your cameras. Love to see you all. If you're on the call and you can hear me, do not feel shy. This is a safe space for you all. So feel free to turn on your cameras. But until then, let us take this moment to just say our declarations. This is what you do all the time. And hopefully we hope that you can say it like you mean it. So we will get into our, breathing activity now. So we will do some breathing exercises. Just breathe in and out 3 times at your own pace. Yes, but it should only take a few seconds before we start. So let's breathe in and out together, guys. So we're gonna do this 3 times. So on a count of 3, 2, 1. Let's breathe in and out together. Breathe in and out again. One more last time. Breathe in and out again. Great. I hope you actually did the breathing exercises. So by now you should be feeling relaxed, more present, and ready to get started. Okay. So let's say our declarations together and say it like you mean it. Say it with some intentionality in your voice. And if you can unmute, feel free to unmute so you can say this together. If you cannot, no problem at all, especially for everybody that is under, maybe your background is not allowing you, these are background noises, just feel free to mute, but at least say it with us, okay? So we'll say our declarations on our count of 3, 2, 1. So let's start.
I am a builder. I build in this space. I bring my full focus, curiosity, and courage to be. I am not too late. I am exactly on time. I ask questions for you. My voice matters here. I am learning. I'm teaching others to build real solutions.
I am part of a community
that lifts each other up. Today I take one step closer to my vision. I've said it like a minute.
Perfect. I love that. Shout out to you, Anthony, for saying it with us. Shout out to you, Joseph, for saying it with us. That's the spirit that's there. That's how we want to build this community. We are learning with you, we are teaching others with you, we are empowering one another. That's the only way we can be able to go far. Cool. Yeah. So quickly, because I see some new faces on the call and some familiar faces on the call. Now, I would like to know you better. So where are you on your Web3 journey? If you're totally new, give us an A in the chat. And it's your first time hearing about Web3, feel free to give us an A in the chat. If you've heard the terms but have not built anything, please give us a B. If you've experienced a little, about wallets, give us a C. If you built something in Web3 before, give us a D. And if you're already shipping and you're here to level up, give us an E. Wow, I'm seeing amazing people. You all are index ones. Yes, so I see Anthony, you are already shipping and you're here to level up. Shout out to you, Anthony. I see Joseph, you're already shipping and you're here to level up. Shout out to you. I see Okumu Joseph. Wow, today we have a couple of Josephs on the call, which is good. So Joseph, you actually built something in the P before. Hopefully you can tell us more about it. Lewis, you have built something in a tree before. Nice to know. Purity, you have heard the terms but have not built anything. Do not worry at all, because we hope that you actually get a chance to build something in this cohort. Blessings, you are totally new and it's a first time hearing about Web3. Wow, welcome to the amazing community. We hope that you'll find study buddy in this community and you're able to upskill yourself and get to start to build something. And hopefully you're going to come through during the night of code that is happening this week on Friday, so that you can get to actually experiment and build something and eventually ship something. I see you, Jeff. You're already shipping and you're here to level up. Nice. Shout out to you, Jeff. So majority of us are either shipping or building something already. And of course, maybe some of you have heard the terms but have not built anything, and some of you are new. So we have a mix of audience tonight, which is good. It means the community keeps growing. We continue to onboard new members into the community, more builders, more developers, and we hope that you can actually, find this community as your perfect home, in terms of your builder journey. Yes, so thanks you all. Quickly, I will just get into this. So if you're here and you have not signed up for our upcoming mini hack, so it's a mini hack finale. So if you've not signed up, this is the moment for you to go in, scan the QR code and sign up. So this QR code will take you to the Luma page where you'll find all the upcoming events that we are organizing as Team One Africa. If you're joining from Kenya, feel free to join us during the mini hack finale on the 28th of August. If you're joining from any other country, check out any events that is upcoming in your country, and yeah, you should be able to show up there. Let them know that we onboarded you over here and we sent you over there. Yeah, that will be great. Cool. So I'll give you like 1 sec so you can scan and yeah, check it out and RSVP in case you have not RSVP'd yet. Okay, so 1 second, I'll just pause for a few seconds before I proceed. Okay, I hope by now you've already scanned. So I'll dive right into it. So maybe some of you are like, what is mini hack? What are we doing here? And why are we even doing this? So you should know that mini hack is a builder program that is designed to equip founders with the pre-fundamentals, and it's also designed to to build a niche ecosystem of technical and non-technical talent. So if you're here and you do not care about writing any line of code, do not worry. This is why we have this program to identify the non-technical forks, technical forks, and be able to create a clear pathway for you. So I'm going to dive deep into this in the next slide. So MiniHack is also here to give you hands-on experiences on building an Avalanche, and to ensure and empower you to create real projects that solve real problems. And we aim to foster a powerhouse community of ecosystem enablers. So this is not just a workshop, this is your launchpad, okay? So if you're here and you're wondering, maybe you are totally new and you're wondering where to get started, so this is the perfect place for you to get started. So you need to explore Avalanche Builders Hub. So I think we can share the link to the Avalanche Builders Hub in the chat. If you can hear me, just help me share some links or the technical portfolio or community portfolio. That'd be great. Right, so explore the Avalanche Builders Hub. So if you go to the Avalanche Builders Hub, you should be able to see the Avalanche Academy and the Entrepreneur Academy. So if you're a developer and you want to double down on that, check out the Avalanche Developer Academy that is on there. If you're non-technical and you do not want to hear anything about developing or writing code, explore the Entrepreneur Academy. This is really good for everybody that is just like looking to be an entrepreneur, upskilling yourself, being up to date with what is the current evolving technologies, to explore the Entrepreneur Academy. However, if you're here and you're totally new, do not feel some type of way, do not feel intimidated. Explore All Explains. So when I started to explore, when I first joined Avalanche and started to learn about Avalanche, All Explains was my savior because it literally explains blockchain and Avalanche in a layman's language. These articles, these explainers, you name it. So it's easier for you to even understand the jargons very, very well. So this is your go-to platform when you want to start exploring the Avalanche Academy. So I see Joseph has dropped a link in the chat. Thank you so much, Joseph. So go to the Avalanche Builders Hub. Well, so this is the global link. It's not the Kenya link, but it's okay. So you can go to the Team One Network Builder Hub and start exploring the Avalanche Academy so that you can be able to equip yourself with the right fundamental knowledge that you need for this journey, right? So perfect. Yeah, you've dropped the Kenya one. Thank you so much. This is the perfect right link for you to explore, guys. So use the Kenya link so that you can keep track of your engagement on there. And of course, we have a very vibrant community where we are happy to answer all your questions, support you during this builder journey. And of course, during these sessions, you are welcome to ask all your questions so that we can be able to help you understand Avalanche in a very, very easy and layman's language, okay? Perfect. So quickly, I will go into who we are, what is our mission, what are we even doing, why are we even here? So Team One, you should know that it's a global community, and our mission is to be able to empower the global community at scale to build an Avalanche and cultivate a builder culture that actually supports and onboards founders and startups. And to long term, we aim to become the clear third arm, community arm of the Avalanche ecosystem alongside Avalabs and the Avalanche Foundation. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, you don't know, so wait a minute. So we have community, we have Avalabs, we have Avalanche Foundation. Yes, we do. So the Avalanche ecosystem has different verticals, just the same way when you're structuring out your company, you're gonna have to figure out the different verticals, business development, partnerships, sales, all of that, okay? So when it comes to the Avalanche ecosystems, you have different verticals. So the Avalabs, which is now the the Devil team that is actually building, maintaining the Avalanche network. And then you have the Avalanche Foundation that offers grant opportunities, accelerator programs for founders and startups in the ecosystem. And now we have the Avalanche Team One, which is the community arm of Avalanche. And this is what you do, organizing events, ensuring that you are creating regional impact and organically growing the community in the ecosystem. So we do this through creating repeatable playbooks, frameworks, workflows that actually are transferable. Also, our other mission is to build a thriving community. So builders have clear pathways from onboarding to shipping, and that's what you do, and that's what we thrive in, creating those clear pathways for founders and for builders in the ecosystem. And of course, we are growing a great community of just builders and founders that are actually shipping products on Avalanche. And this is part of why we are here on this call. Ultimately, our main goal, everything else actually fits into this, into scaling the Avalanche network across Africa. That's what you're doing, that's what we've been doing, and that's what we will continue to do in the next couple of, decades, years, I guess. Yeah. So that's just who we are in a nutshell. So if you're here and you're looking to become a founder, you are in the right place. And if you're here, you're still new, you do not know what your pathway is, do not worry, because you definitely found yourself a community that is willing to support you and work with you long term. And if you're here and you're just vibing, hopefully you will stop vibing soon and start vibe coding soon and start shipping products. Okay, cool. So I'll just quickly show you. Perhaps you're wondering, how do you get your pathway? So before I get into that, I will quickly ask you to scan this QR code. So this takes you to our resource hub, okay? And this resource hub has, so this is the link tree. So you'll find necessary links, including the link to join the Telegram, link to join the WhatsApp, link to join to find the resource for this call. But do not worry, because I'm going to share another QR code just shortly for you to get all the information about this cohort and about these sessions that you're running tonight. So yeah, that's it. Join Team One Africa. Doesn't matter where you're joining us from, whatever part of the continent, whatever part of the country, this is the right community for you, as you can see. So I will quickly show you where to start to get started in terms of finding your ideal pathway. Okay, so 1 minute. Let me just quickly share my screen. Okay. Right. So cool. So I hope you can see my screen actually. So just by show of hands, or maybe like some reactions, who here is joining us from Web3 ecosystem? It can be Ethereum, Base, Solana, whatever it is. So here is the Joseph. Joseph, which community system are you joining us from? Well, I see some serious answers. Yeah. So I see Jeff. Jeff, which ecosystem are you joining us from? I know Joseph is joining us from Avalanche, obviously. So yeah, I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking to everyone else that's joining us from outside of Avalanche. Okay. Cool. I see also Jeff, you're joining from Avalanche. At least you are actually doubling up with Eve, right? So I see Lewis Njenga, you're joining us from Sui ecosystem. Wonderful. So if you're joining us from any other ecosystem and you're wondering, so what's my pathway? Where do I get started? What do I start doing? Right? So this is the place for you to actually get started. I see you, Anthony. You're obviously joining us from Avalanche. I see you, and I love to see that. I see Austin. You're joining us from Hedera. Wonderful. So it means tonight you're actually having a diversified audience, which is good. So, well, if you're joining us from any other ecosystem outside of Avalanche, this is your landing page. This is where you're supposed to get started. So, for example, I see I see a pathway for you, Lewis. So let's say you're joining us from SUI, right? So this is you and you want to explore Avalanche. So this is exactly where you need to get started, right? So I don't know why my icons are not showing, but it's just my internet trying to act up. But so this is your quick path, all right? So normally when you have good internet, it actually shows. Okay, so you want to explore the SUI wallet to core. How do you bridge from SUI? How do you get AVAX? Decentralized exchanges, how do you stake natively? How do you claim an AVAX domain? Guys, like, this is literally your cheat code. Oh my days. Like, I wish we had this when we were joining Avalanche or when we were exploring Avalanche, because the more you explore Avalanche, the Avalanche keeps shipping. And that's the beauty about it. Because when we first joined Avalanche, we didn't have these pathways, but guess what? Now we do. Which means onboarding and discovery of your pathways has become so much easier that you cannot even sleep on this, right? So this is your pathway for you, Lewis. So explore SUI wallet. So you already know about SUI wallet, of course. Explore now, how do you transition into core, right? How do you bridge from SUI? How do you get AVAX? How do you get understand the DEX or centralized exchanges, right? So NFTs and exploring from SUI Explorer into Snotrace, right? So this is just one simple pathway for you that is joining us from another different ecosystem and exploring the Avalanche ecosystem. I'll drop this in the chat so that you all can have access to this, but this is a really good platform for you to get started. So hopefully you get started with this amazing tool that we have built for you, which is called the Avalanche Cascade. And yeah, feel free to explore this. And then right about now, before I give the microphone to Joseph, I just want to ensure that you all actually have the right resources that you need for this session. You understand exactly where to get information. And in case you have any questions, let us know. Okay, we are here to help and you're here to support. So I will share my screen one last time so you can be able to scan this QR code. Now, this is specifically for this event. Okay, so this event is happening this week on 28th, which you all should come actually. On Friday at Blockchain Center, and this is exactly where you get all the information. So scan this QR code. I will also drop this link in the chat so that you can be able to access the link directly from your mobile phone or from your gadget, depending on where you're joining us, what you're joining us with. Now, when you scan this QR code, it should take you to this amazing landing page. And when you get to this amazing landing page, this section right here is what you need to pay more attention to. It has event information, meet the team that are hosting this event, explore Avalanche. This is where you get started. Give us your feedback. By end of the session, we'll send you an email to give us your feedback. Please check out on your emails. And yeah, if it's not on your inbox, you can check on spam. Check out the partners that are partnering with us for this mini hack. But most importantly, check out resources. So this is where you get all the useful links. As you can see here, we have the Build a Hub account. So this is, if you missed the other link, use this link, okay? Use this link to create a Build a Sub account, create a Build a Sub account, and start exploring the Avalanche Academy or the Entrepreneur Academy, whichever that resonates with you. Join the Telegram chat. So we are big on Telegram. We encourage everybody to join our Telegram chat. So join the Telegram chat. So if you click this link, it should take you to the Telegram chat. However, if you're not a fan of Telegram, then explore the WhatsApp community. So we are also big on WhatsApp. So join WhatsApp chat. And most importantly, also connect to that on X. So this is the Timon Africa on X account. So click this, follow us, engage with us on X. Again, we have weekly quests. So these quests are for you to actually go through them. So if you click here, you will find the weekly quests. And then as you're building, you need testnets. And where do you get the testnets? You get them from the faucets. So this is the link that directs you to the faucet to get the right testnets for you to be able to build. Again, we have had your concerns and your feedback, and we are now sharing the presentation. So in case you need presentation materials for these sessions, this is where you get the presentation materials, and you're going to attach a link for YouTube on these resources so that you can be able to find all the recording for all the sessions. So that's it from me. Give you 1 sec to scan the QR code as I allow Joseph to come up on the stage, and you can confirm to me, Joseph, if you're able to unmute your microphone and if you're able to speak. Perfect. Great. Cool. So yeah, take it up from here, Joseph.
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, let me share my screen. Someone is calling at the most. Just give me a sec.
Okay, no problem. So I have dropped the link in the chat for you to explore the Team One events. So please go ahead and click that link. It will help you understand and help you get the resources that you require for these sessions. So again, I've dropped the link for the cascade. Go in there, find your pathway, and start exploring Avalanche ecosystem. Okay.
Nice. Thank you, everyone. My name is Joseph Mwangi. In the Web3 space, I go by Scott. I have over 5 years writing code. I know, very, very short time. Most of these have been into the Web3 space, and yes, I come from Avalanche. I did have experience with some other chains and all that. Currently, I'm leading the technical contributors here at Team One Africa, and basically my main role is, getting new builders or two builders to understand the fundamentals of blockchain, how to build on blockchain, specifically how to build on our chain, which is the Avalanche protocol. So that is basically what I do. Also 2 times founder, looking forward to being a 3 times founder. I founded a company called Mental Sync and the other one called Elam Labs. One of our products is called Autopay, which we are going to be live on mainnet on Avalanche tomorrow, probably tomorrow midnight. So yeah, you guys should check it out. It's a simpler way. I know we've all experienced this hecticness whereby you have some USDC and you want to send it to someone, but now you have to go through the entire process of P2P, Binance and all that. Okay, I don't know the apps that you use, but all that process is pretty hectic. So what the product that we're launching is called Autopay KE. It's a simpler way. If someone has USDC, stablecoins, USDT, and they want to send them to you, you can basically just enter the phone number of the user. If he's in Kenya, that's Safaricom and Airtel. If in Ghana, that is Airtel and MTN, Momo, I think, yeah. So you can be able to basically just enter the phone number, enter the amount in USDC, and then you'll be able to see the amount that they'll receive in their local settlement. And then just like that, money that moves like an SMS. So I'd like us actually, most of us, or all of us actually join the wait list. So as you'd be ready for when we release it. So as you can be able to actually play around with it. So I am dropping dropping the link to join the waitlist here in the chat. So just go ahead and click on it. Okay, so I think we've handled these. Yeah. So last week we handled something very, very important, whereby our agents were now, they now evaluated a real condition and moved real, okay, not real, but testness use DC, with the 4 safety pillars that we said about. And then also every agent that we have built so far, they are all on the terminal. For those who've actually participated in all the live sessions, for those who actually accessed the recordings of those and played around with what you were doing, you saw that all the commands, all the responses, we were getting them from the CLI. But for tonight, we are going to wrap that same agent in a real API. And then we're going to stream its responses to a real web page. And then we're going to redesign the human in the loop moment for an interface people that can actually click. So basically, we are moving everything from the terminal to now the interface, because remember, your users are not going to be playing with the CLI. No. Most of your users, for the solution that are going to be built, they'll be now interacting with the user interface, the UI. So this is what we are going to be doing today. So from all our past sessions, you know the drill. We usually have a line that usually drive us throughout the entire sessions, like for the next 3 days. Now for us, for tonight's session, this is the line that we're going to go with. Your agent works in the terminal. Tonight, it starts working for a screen. That's the line that we're going with. Let's just skip the agenda. Let's move directly to the engagement. So in the chat, what is the one thing about your terminal-only agent you are most excited to finally show someone visually? Can you drop in the chat your responses? What is the one thing about your terminal agent that you're going to build for your night of code, for the hackathon, that you are most excited, that you think if I put it in a user interface, they're going to love it? So let's just drop the feedback there. I'll be coming back in a few, and then I'll be reading them. So yeah, let's get right to it. So this brings me to the most important question. Why do your agent need a front end? Okay, so for this, let's actually just try this out. Okay, not just going to assert it. No. So every agent across the 6 sessions that we've had so far, and yes, I think this cohort, this is the first cohort that we've had more than 5 sessions, and yeah, it's very, very informative. So yes, we've done 6 sessions so far. This is the 7th session. So every agent across the 6 sessions that we've done so far, they run in the terminal, the red line prompts, asking for input, the console dots, for printing the output, or all those things are the approvals, all those. We did it via the terminal. That was the right call for the learning phase that we have been doing, okay? But now, one thing we are going to focus is your users are not going to be interacting with the terminal. Not everyone knows how to operate the terminal. Not everyone is techie. So it's not what a judges is going to see at the demo day. No. Honestly, it's not what it makes the product feel real to anyone, including you. So tonight, the exact same logic, we are going to wrap it, as I said it, in a real API, and it's going to be shown in a real web page. So actually want to stress something here, okay? We are going to use the exact same logic, the same agent logic that we used in the last session. We're not going to totally write it. No. We are not throwing away the 6 sessions that we've done so far. No. We are going to be giving it just a simple user interface of which we are going to use it. So let's come right to it. React and Next.js. So let's define both of these properly, since I know not every one of us has touched both of these the same time. So React React is a JavaScript library that is used for building the user interface. Okay, it's basically how you describe like basically how a web page should look like. Okay, and how also that web page is how it should also react. Okay, so hence the name React.js. Okay, so that is React. Okay, so it's going to react when data changes and it's going to display it henceforth. So Next.js is actually a framework that is built on top of React, meaning what? Meaning it takes React and adds a whole structure around it. Okay, and adds a whole structure basically like around it, that is routing and also what? Critically. Sorry. Just yeah. Where was I? Oh, yes. And critically, for tonight, it's going to show like a way on how you're going to wire the backend code in the same project. So diving also into React, into Next.js, there are two types of projects. You can have monorepo. A monorepo, what I mean by monorepo is you can have both your front end and your back end running the same application. And for Next.js, if you go with a monorepo, you can actually, instead of having two different deployments for your API, for your backend, which you do on render, and the front end, which you can do on Vercel, this is how you can deploy both as a monorepo using Vercel. So if you go with that perspective, it's actually easier. You can be able to track your logs using the Vercel and all that. So yeah, that's something else. So this is actual comparison between Next.js and React. Okay, so let's start with Next.js. So the frontend and API routes, they live in the same app. Okay, meaning what? Meaning one deployment from what I've actually talked about. The other thing, same origin. What do I mean by this? I mean that the same website addresses. Okay, meaning what? Meaning no more like a long cause setup. Okay, and I'm going to explain what cause is in the next few slides. Don't worry about it. So this is basically what you're going to be building live tonight. Okay, and as always, you know the drill. The code base for tonight's session, it's actually accessible via the talent index. Silas, maybe you can drop this link in the chat. Or yeah. So basically just head over to talent index. Once you're here, head over to repositories. Actually, it's the top repository there. So basically go to repositories, and then once you're here, it's the very first repository on top. So once you're here, just head over and fork the repo. Once you fork the report to your personal profile, you're going to clone that and clone it to your device, and then open it up in your favorite IDE, the one that you prefer. So how do you fork? Once you're here, you see the fork button, click on fork, and then it's going to create a fork into your personal profile. So create fork, basically just going to be very fast, and then head over to code, click code. If you like cloning using HTTPS, you can copy that. If you like using the SSH, very fine, use that. Then head over to your terminal, clone it, and then open it with your favorite IDE. So let me just go back to my slides where we were. So hopefully, has Silas dropped them? Yeah, yes. So that is the GitHub repo. So let's all head over there and clone the repo. So as when we start the live coding session, we are all at par. So basically, let's just fork this as I'm continuing yapping right now. So yeah, this is basically, as I've said, this is what we're going to be handling. This brings me to the next thing. Why use Next.js for tonight? Okay, so we're going to now go one level deeper. Okay, so why does this matter practically? So the API the API routes, whatever, potato, they actually live right inside the app folder. Okay, and if you actually check the code base, you're going to see it. Let me actually just show this right now. If you come over to this code base, head over to JavaScript. Once you are in the JavaScript folder, you'll see the web folder. So once you click on web, you can be able to see all the code lies in this app. So the API lives right inside the app folder. As you can see, here is the API. This is where the agent is going to be running, and all this, it's all confirmed right here. So this is why we are using this. So so it lives right inside the app folder, right next to your pages. As you can see, this is the app. This is the API, and this is our page, our simple page that I told you that we're going to be using. It's actually very, very simple, with not much of UI and all that. So it lives right next to the page, right next to your pages, okay? Not in a different project entirely, okay? So what does this mean? This means one deployment. It means that you'll have one deployment target, okay? That is one single place that you can push your code to, okay? And then you're going to get one URL for the whole thing. And at the same time, zero cause configuration. So since the front end and this API, they live within the same, like they live in the same code base, the same project structure. They never leave the same origin. That's why there's no cause configuration, all that. So that means what? Same website address. So the browser, it never, like the browser has no reason to like block anything. Okay. Together so far. So if you've kind of already separated your backend from an earlier session, let's say plain React still works, okay? Just the same streaming pattern that you're going to be building tonight, okay? So you just going to deploy your things instead of one. So we'll just call that out properly at the end of the session. So the best way to actually go by this, I think this is where we now jump into the live session. Yes, I'm right. So let's start here. The best way to actually say this is with the access to the code base. So I'm just going to explain the basics and all that, and then Silas is going to jump in and show you guys the actual implementation of the code and how you're going to run this code base and how you're going to see the UI, how configuring the API keys, and all that will those blah 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 thing that we're talking about. So all this is actually going to be catered afterwards. So yeah, as you saw in the code base, if you're a fan of Golang, feel free to use Golang. If you're a fan of Python, Rust, JavaScript, code base is all there. So yeah, heads up, just go and check them out. So let's start with this. So this is actually what we're actually building, okay? So we actually need to follow, like basically follow through what I'm going to say, what you're going to actually demonstrate. We're going to create one API route inside a Next.js app. As I had said, how do you configure a Next.js app, all that, the npx create, blah, 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 and all that. All the commands are accessible in the code base. Just go to the README. All the commands are there, how to run the project, how to get started. Everything is listed down there. So this is basically what you're going to be building, okay? As I've said, we are going to create one API route, which is going to be inside the Next.js app. and then stream the agent's responses back to the real web page. Okay, and then we're going to like redesign the approval prompt from I think it was session 4 and 6. Yeah, from now session 4 and 6 into something that you can actually see and click, not type via the CLI. So let's get started. The API route. This is the very first thing that we're going to talk about. So let's actually go through this line by line, okay? So let's start with something important. This file's own location, okay? So it actually lives at the app/API/chat/dot/ whatever. From actually what I had shown you here from this tab, you can actually see it here. So this is what I'm talking about, okay? The API chat route.ts. So just head over to JavaScript, web, app, API agent. This is the file I'm talking about, the route.tx. So this is what basically going to talk about in brief. So back here. So how do we get started? So yeah, where is my highlighter? Yes, it works. So you've seen the file path and all that. So basically, a file at this path, like it basically, so this is the file path as demonstrated, and I've shown you in the actual code base. So this file at this specific path, it automatically becomes like what we call a real network endpoint. So this means that there's no need for like a separate server that you're going to configure, and also something else, no extra setup. The framework itself is going, like the framework itself wires it up, okay, just from where you actually save the file. So the code itself. So first we start by exporting an async function called post, as you can see. Okay, so that's the first thing we do, and that name, it actually matters a lot, because post is actually one of the HTTP methods, whereby the verbs the verb that a browser uses to do what? To talk to a server. That's what you call post, to those who are new to programming. So basically, what I'm trying to mean, like, specifically, it means it sends data to be processed, okay, as opposed to what we call get. So get, it means fetch data, okay, and then inside this, we now read the incoming request, okay, that is await request.json, await request.json, as you can see here. So after now that, we now pull out a message field. Okay. So from now here, we've now done that. So right now, what happens? This function, it doesn't return anything useful yet. Okay, and that is what the comments are telling you, if you actually see that. So it tells you what's coming. Okay, so after now this, we are now about to now return a stream instead of like one big JSON blob or lump of something. Okay, and now that is the very next thing that you're going to be building, which is now what we before you actually go to the stream, you need to understand what these streams are. So what does streaming mean? Okay, so, and why stream instead of wait or await? Okay, so in the agentic field of things, okay, an agentic loop remember that the term from session 2, what we were talking about, the passive, reason, act, observe, and repeat, the 5 steps that we were talking about. So they can genuinely take several seconds to run, okay? Very, very fast. So especially once the tool calls are actually involved. So a blank screen for like 8 seconds, they read as broken to a user. That is a very, very honest thing. Tell me, you've clicked on a link. Let's say you've clicked on the link that I've shared in the chat for autopay, and then you wait like 5 seconds and the screen is blank. What does that tell you? It tells you that this link is broken. And what will I do? I'll not continue waiting. I'll just basically either reload the site or close it completely, okay? So even when the code is actually working, okay? That is what the blank screen they usually talk about. So underneath is, we have now the server-sent events that usually now address. So these are, throughout the session, you will hear me talking about the SSEs. So SSEs means the server sent events. So when you hear me talking about this is what I'll be talking about. So this is actually like a web standard of a well-established browser supported way that a server can basically get to push a stream of, a stream, think of it like a river. A stream is a kind of a river, okay? So it's something that is flowing in a continuous line, okay? So it gets what? It gets like a way that the server can now push a stream of small messages to a browser over one single long-lived connection, okay? That's very, very important. So that is basically what these SSEs they do and what happens. So now you understand why stream instead of wait, okay? So this brings me now to the next thing, which we now call streaming with server-sent events, streaming with these SSEs. So you've understood it now. Let's actually build it. This is the next step that we're going actually to implement the same file. So where do we get started? My highlighter again. Nice. We are in. So we create a readable stream, okay, that is now built in a web platform object, okay, that's now going to represent the data that arrived in chunks. Remember what we were talking about in session 5, the chunks? Yes, we are back there. So it's going to represent the data that arrived in chunks over time, rather than all of them at once. So this is exactly what we actually need it for. So, and inside, we're going to do this inside what we call an async start function, which does what? It receives a controller, okay? It receives a controller, as you can see. It receives a controller, and then our handle, what else? It receives our handle for what? For pushing data into the stream, okay? So after now that, we now create a text encoder, okay? We then now create a text encoder, as you can see here. So what does this do? So the text encoder, it basically converts the plain text into basic raw bytes, bytes, bits, potato, whatever you call it, bytes, bytes. So it converts a plain text into the raw bytes that are network connection, like virtual, like like this data now, it can actually be now sent, okay? So it computes, move the bytes. Remember, I've talked about bytes, not strings, so that's very, very important. And then now, after doing that, we now define a helper function. So we define now a helper function, which is send. Taking what we're going to take, taking an event name, and also this some data inside it and all that. So this is basically it. And then the last part here, basically we return a new response that's going to wrap our stream with actually some crucial header, that is the content type, text/event stream. And then that specific header, it tells what? It now tells the browser that you are going to treat this as a live stream, not a normal one-shot response. So that is basically what happens here. So that is how you stream with SSEs. So you've done that. The next step is now the agentic loop streaming moments. What are these? How do you actually do this? So we actually call that send function. Remember what we were talking about there? We actually call that send function. We actually call that send function, and then you are going to watch how it naturally maps into that agentic loop that you already know of. You know, after now doing that, it now perceives the message that has just arrived. Okay, so we call send step, and then thinking about your request, and then what? It thinks with the message as a detail, and then after now doing that, remember what we're talking about, perceive and then act. It now acts. It acts. This is the loop that you're talking about. Okay, so it acts now. It acts now with what you've got, and then it makes it now visible. So send step, calling a tool with the tool's name, and then now we move on to now generate. Now to generate. So here it basically now generates the final grounded answer. So here it sends the final response with what? With the response text. It returns it with a response text. Okay, so and then the controller dot, it basically closes it. Okay, it basically closes this part. After now closing that, after it has closed, it has basically ended the stream cleanly. Okay, so every step that your CLI agent already takes, like, it has a natural send moment. This is not a new logic that you're going to implement. No. We've already talked about this. So that's the agentic loop. Okay, so this brings me to now, how do you actually redesign the HATL for now the web? Okay, so this is the most important part of actually this session. So I think, yeah, session 4 and 6, we built like the confirm payment as part of the terminal. Okay, but now whereby you can type like yes or no, or you can respond with a Y or N, Y to accept, N to reject, and all that. So that is what we built in the last 3 sessions, maybe. 3 sessions. So that literally does not translate to a web page. That's on the CLI. Okay, so there's no terminal there. Okay, so, and here's literal this is where the risk is actually. Okay, so if that gets quietly skipped, like in a rush to like ship a demo, let's say during a presentation, like the single most interesting moment in your entire project basically disappears just like that. Okay, so nobody's going to notice that until it's actually too late to do this. So the underlying pattern, it doesn't change at all. Okay, so remember what you're talking about, the keystrokes and all that. Just have that at the back of your mind. Okay, so that is basically what we are going to do, redesigning the HATL for the web now, so as people don't actually miss that step. So this brings me to now, how do we solve that? We solve that by now the next thing, the approval event. So here's actually how that pause happens in the code. So first we actually call call send with the event name. Okay, we call send with the event name approval underscore required. Okay, highlighter, yes, here. Okay, with the send approval underscore required. That's the very first thing that we do. So, and what? And a data object with two fields. With a data object with two fields, as you can see here. Okay. And with two fields, that is reasoning in plain English. As you can see this. This action will send funds, blah, 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 all that, followed by now the action that we define now. What do you want to send 10 USDC to what? To a specific wallet address with that wallet address there. So that is basically how the approval event is. So this event, it doesn't just inform the front end. No. It's like, it's a genuine, what's the word? It's like a genuine stopping point for the project. So for the project in the code. So basically, past this point, it should not run until a human does what? A human gives a response. If you respond with a yes, then it moves on to the next step. If you respond with a no, that is where I remember the contract that we had last time. Let me just show you once again. If you respond with a no, now that triggers the kill switch. So the kill switch will now stop the progress from there. So this is the kill switch. So the kill switch will stop. It will not facilitate the transaction. So your entire flow ends there. So that is basically it. So we've talked about the approval event. So how do you now actually consume this? So we move on to the next step, consuming the stream on the front end. So how do you actually do this? So this is actually the browser's job and everything that we do. So we start by, we call fetch, okay? Highlighter, yes. So we start by calling fetch, okay? That's the browser built-in function that we use for making the network request, and then you're going to point it to what? To slash API, giving it the route of the API file that has this request, the post request that you are waiting it to. And then now from the response, we now get a reader and all that. This is basically a simpler way to actually do it. Actually want to actually, yeah, I think the next step from here, Silas, are you ready? Silas, if you're ready.
Yes.
Nice. So let me actually invite Silas, because now from this step, we now move on now to you need to actually see it in action, so as you can actually get to understand it better. So Silas, feel free to share your screen and take it over.
Yeah. Yes, I think maybe you'll need to stop sharing so that I can be able to share. Okay, nice. So, hi everyone. So my name is Silas. I'm a collaborator for the Avalanche team one. I'm also like helping out with these technical sessions. And today, I think Joseph has spent like a lot of good time explaining the code base as it is. Maybe just on my end, maybe I'll like do a demo. But maybe like I'll touch on the main file that maybe hasn't been spoken about, because in this particular file, so this is just a normal web application. For those of you who have done web development will know. For those of you who haven't, this is like a Next.js application, as Joseph has put it and he has explained. So if you navigate to lib and go to invoices, you'll see that this is basically just a convenient file that defines invoices that you have. So you can imagine this as being like the mock DB that we have for now. So you might be pulling this from a real database or from a JSON file or from anywhere, just any storage location. This is what the file serves as. We also have a payment file here. So this is just a configuration file. It's going to do the conversion for you and for the machine so that it's easier to read and easier to execute. And then we have runs.ts. And so this is just going to be like the another utility function that is going to help with the UI. So you'll find yourself that whenever you're building or whenever you're trying to connect a front end to a back end or to a Web3 application or to smart contract, it's easier to do them in these utility files because you might find that you're using one function in multiple locations. So you don't want to be defining that function in every piece of UI that you write. So if you have a profile screen and if you have a home screen and an explore screen, and both are using the same function or the same hook, it's often easier to define it once and then like use it from elsewhere. I think Joseph has explained what we have here. So what we just have here is this is what most people would call like Next.js is what most people will call a framework. React is a library. So a framework is, if maybe you're familiar with something like Spring Boot, or maybe you're familiar with something like, I think it's called Nest, because there's a big difference between library and a framework. So the good thing about Next.js is that it is a JavaScript or TypeScript framework so that you can be able to write backend and front-end code in one place. Joseph told you like we don't need a server for this. We just need these functions here in the API route. And these ones, most of the time, you'll be deploying your web app to Vercel. So these ones will be executed on Vercel server. So you don't need to have a server of your own. Almost similar to serverless architecture, where you are writing edge functions and then deploying them to Firebase, Superbase, or wherever, or AWS. Basically, just the compute is not yours. So all you have to do is like define what should happen when a post request is sent and what should be the response and what should be like the body, etc. So that is it. I think Joseph has explained most of this stuff. Maybe just a little on the main page. I've obviously like changed the UI a bit. So if you cloned this repo earlier than 7 p.m., I suggest you do a git pull because apart from just having, because I think this was not mentioned, apart from having the env folder, those who are using Go and Rust, unfortunately, don't know how web is done on that side. But for those of you who are using JavaScript, make sure that this .env file is also inside the web folder, because if you don't, it won't manage to read the secrets. So after you have configured your env as the documentation suggested, make sure that you have it here. So you can just run a simple copy command, copy the base env to the web.env. I'm going to run this because I already ran it, but make sure you do that because that's a potential pitfall. Otherwise, I did some UI changes and we're just using hook. So maybe let me just take a quick chance to explain this. So if you haven't used React, for me, I think React is the easiest front-end framework that you can be able to get used to. So state inside a component or inside React just means like data. If you're coming from other languages that have state and you have done UI before, UI front-end development, you know that state is what controls the application. So if a user clicks something, they change a state, and hence if a state changes, it requires that a side effect should be done. So to track state inside your application, you use state in React. So we just have a bunch of state here. I think they are very much self-explanatory. And then towards the bottom, we have obviously utility functions here that I think Joseph has explained well. moving just down here to the main UI code, you will see that we are trying to segregate everything in its own component. So React is very big on componentizing your application, or whatever the word is. Basically, your UI is one larger component, it's a component, and each subcomponent can be broken down to just one HTML item. So if you have, like, let's say this header here, I can break it down to maybe the top section, bottom section. And you can obviously write this in their own files, but this is just like a demo UI that we're doing. So in your own, you can feel free to like, but basically we're just trying to categorize each component in its own section. And then the rest of this is just readable. We have buttons for like changing the settings, mentioned the steps. Remember, when you're working with agents, there's this thing that we call thinking. So, or perceived thinking of an LLM. So step one, this was the result. It moved to step two, it moves to step three because of this in step etc. So for us in the UI, we are listing those steps here. And then when an approval comes, because this is a human in the loop session, we are going to be able to like detect again using state, and then we are going to show like the approval model so that the user can be able to click and proceed. Otherwise, from that, we're just going to show a success state if the result went well. Otherwise, if the result did not go well, we're going to show an error. Now, the main application is here. So you guys notice the invoices here. These are the invoices. So these are the ones that are going to be judged. So you can see it's loaded pretty fast because I had already begun running this application. You can see that the request went. So you see that this is the step one. It's checked for overdue invoices from our files here. It found one overdue invoice, this one here. So it has not been paid, and it is overdue 4 days. And then now it requires me to like send the funds. Now, this is the human in the loop part we are saying. So I'm just going to approve and send, and then I'm going to be patient. It's going to work. So you need a way to communicate to your user. I remember Joseph mentioned that if you click something and you're not seeing anything that is happening in the UI, and in the backend something is actually happening, that is a problem because users will walk away. In fact, there was a research that was done, and it was found like I think more than half of the user left if they did not see anything on the screen. That's why loading states are important. Toasts are very important. We do not implement any of this, but feel free to always be doing that so that the user is always notified and you maintain their attention on the UI. The other thing is skeletons. I don't know if you ever, maybe, I don't know if I can demonstrate this. Let me see if I can be able to demonstrate this. So these skeletons, yeah, they are very important because they tell the user something is coming. So just be patient. Something is going to be displayed here, and it's going to be important for your attention. Otherwise, back to here, I think the payment went through. If you can be able to see the logs, you can see that this was the logs on the server. And then the payment went through. We can view it on Snowtrace. I hope it used testnet Snowtrace. Yeah, Snowtrace is going to do this thing where it's going to load infinitely. Unfortunately, I did not have time for this, but it went through. The last thing that I would like to demonstrate, obviously this application does not have like a persistent DB right now. So if I refresh it, it's going to lose the state that it has. But ideally, you should be able to keep like the whole holistic state. So I'm going to check for invoices again, and you'll see now I cannot make payment to that particular invoices. Why? Because of idempotency. Now, idempotency just is important in payments, as I mentioned in the other session, because you don't want to make the same payment twice, right? It has to be different. That's why you have things like ID and etc. Maybe even if you've used M-Pesa before, if you send 10 shillings and then you want to send 10 shillings again immediately, it's going to tell you you cannot do that. You have to wait a bit of time because they have to be sure that I'm not trying to pay again because I thought that the first one failed, or I did not see the confirmation from the first one. So that is something to be keen of. In case you want to test it out again, just come here and change the ID of this particular one, save it, and then when I refresh the page and then I check overdue invoices, you can see that because the ID changed, that means that this is a very different invoice. So you can be able to approve and send again. Otherwise, apart from that, I think I'll go back to you, Joseph. I think that is it from me.
Okay. Thank you, Silas. So let me just share my screen once again. So you've seen how the streams are being consumed on the front end and how the rendering is being done on the UI, that is the approval, as you've seen, and the full running flow. So yeah, so how do you actually deploy on Vercel? So let me head over to my Vercel. Hope you can see this. Okay. Let me not share that screen. That contains a lot of my projects. Okay. Let me switch to this one. Yeah. So how do you actually deploy on Vercel? So let me show you the first step. So you can, you head over to add new, and then you select project. And then it's going to let you know import a Git repository. So for this, you can basically paste the URL here of your the URL of your forked repo. As you can see here, this is my forked repo. So I can just come here on code, copy this, head back over to Vercel, and I can paste this here. Okay. Looks like this organization doesn't have access to that, to my GitHub. Let me just switch to this other one. Yeah. I think this was, so I do not want to do that. Okay. Different Git account, okay. Let me just switch it here. Let me do it here. And configure this. Install Vercel. Let me install it. Again, in the organization. Where is it? Let me just do this. Yeah, here we go. Let me just add this. Just get the code. Just give me a sec. Let me verify on my end. Where is it? Oh, damn, okay. I see KRA already tested me. Oh my days. These guys, they just want to get my taxes, okay? KRA. I see you guys. Don't worry. I'll file back. So let me just select that repository. 7, yeah, that is it. Yeah. Save it. Once I've configured that, okay. So once I come here, delete this, it should not pop up. Yeah. So you go to import, you import that repository, and then you edit, you select the web, just like that. since it's on JavaScript, and then configure, deploy. So that's method one. The second method is there's a simpler way whereby you can basically there's a file you can create called vessel.json. So once you create the vessel.json, you push it to your repo, and basically once you've imported the repo and click deploy, Vessel will automatically look for that file, vessel.json, and then once it has captured it, it's going to read the deployment rules and presets, all that is set up from there. That is the build commands, the run commands, and all that. As you can see, the deployment went through, and this is the deployed. Okay. Oh, guys, were you seeing my screen the entire time? Because I think it stopped. Can you see some reactions if you are seeing my screens during the deployment? Did you guys see what I was doing?
No, not really. We couldn't see.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I guess let me just repeat the entire step. Can you see my screen now? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Nice. So this is the deployed link. But let me just head over to Vercel again. Let me delete this repo. Let me delete this deployment. Where is it? Okay, I think it's hack something. Yeah, it is. Let me just delete this and then take you guys through it again. Settings, delete project. Just delete it and then redeploy again. So let me start again. So you click on add new project, and then let me switch to talent index here. This is my the organization report. That's where my repository is at. So once I'm here, I can decide to rename the project. So by you renaming the project matters a lot on how your domain is going to look like. So let me rename it to mini hack cohort 7 what project UI. And then the next thing, you need to edit the root directory where your project is at. So it's at JavaScript folder, the web folder. So just select the web folder, click on continue, and then hit deploy. So once you do that, it's going to deploy the file automatically. As you can see, let's just check the build logs. Right now, I think it has started by now cloning the repository, running verset build, installing the dependencies, and then it's going to run build, and then after now that is going to now publish the build, and then after now that you're going to get the deployed. Yeah, it has compiled successfully and it is now deploying the outputs. So that's one way you can deploy. And what I was talking about also was using the vessel.json. You can create a vessel.json inside the web folder, the same position where your package.json file is, and you can define the deployment routes, the path, the commands, and all that. So basically what Vercel does, it goes and searches for that specific file, vessel.json. Once it gets it, it grabs it, reads the commands, the file location, the path, and all that, and then it's going to deploy automatically. So as you can see, I have now deployed the front end, and once I click on that, as you can see, it has redirected me to that UI. Once I click on check overdue, it's going to check, and then if I want to approve, since I've not set my private key and all that, to do that, I can basically just go to my project under environment. Oh my days, okay. And let me just, oh, no. Okay, nice. They're hidden. Oh, that was a close call. So mini hack, yeah, here we go. So once I'm inside this project, I can head over to environment variables and I can add my environment keys over here. Once I add them, I'll be able now to add those variables, and you can perform the functions automatically here as demonstrated. So that is on deployment to Vercel. Yeah. So if you're using plain React, and you have like another backend folder somewhere, you can deploy using render. You know the step. Let me just take you to render. Let me take you to render. So head over to render. So you can deploy your front end using Vercel, using the same way, and then your backend can deploy it on render. Basically, same steps, but now under the variables that you're going to add, some of those variables you need to add is the cause origin. So for that, that's where you need to add the cause origin. Let me skip that, because I think my dashboard contains a lot of data. Yeah, so that is basically it. A quick recap of what has happened tonight. We have done the exact same logic, from session 4 and 6. And all that now runs behind one API route, the UI and all that, prompt from the CLI to the interface. All that works, and the approval and all that, no longer yes or no, you're just clicking a button. That's basically it. So guys, get ready for the Night of Code. Is coming up. It's on 28th. That is this coming Friday. So looking forward to see you guys there. You know how to do this. You know how to implement these. If you want to integrate Pretium, just let us know. Same implementation, API keys and all that. That is basically it. So this Thursday, by Thursday, you need to have your API route and streaming working locally, because on Thursday's session, we're going to jump on something very, very important. That is, we'll be talking about productionization and the demo preparation. So basically, we'll be getting you guys on, number one, how do you identify a good product? I think the next cohort problem statements are going to be shared with Lavender. So these problem statements are for you guys who have not yet identified projects that you're going to work on, or you don't have teams. You can be working on these problem statements that are actually vetted for the real market, that they're real problems, and you can build a real solution to it. So the document is going to be shared in the WhatsApp channel. So make sure you're all part of the WhatsApp channel. If you're not part of the GitHub organization where you'll be tracking the projects and all that, just drop your GitHub username in the WhatsApp channel or in this call chat, so as our team can be able to add you into the call. So yeah, so this is basically what we'll be handling on Thursday: productionization and demo preparation. Oh yeah, something else. We'll also have a session on the same Thursday, if time will be on our side, whereby one of our contributor called Jefferson, who's leading the legal side of Team One Africa, will jump on, talk about the legalities, the legal frameworks and all that concerning Web3, and all that, all the do's and all those talks will happen on Friday. That's one day to the actual Night of Code. I want on Night of Code, we come fully prepared on time. Night of Code starts from 6 p.m. running all the way to 6 a.m. Entire night. Snacks, coffee in plenty will be available. So guys, let's come prepared, let's come ready. So yeah, I've been your presenter, Joseph Mwangi. If you would like to interact with me, feel free to scan the QR code. It's going to take you to my link tree. You'll get access to all my links. That is, if you want to book a virtual call with me, 15-minute call, 30-minute call, a debugging call, I think it's option 2 on the links. Once you scan this, the first link on my link tree is a link for you to join the waitlist for the autopay project, a solution that is coming out in the next 1 day. So yeah, you can scan the QR code, and yeah, see you on Thursday. Yeah. Do you have any questions? Let me just leave the QR code on. Do you have any questions before we wrap up the session? So yeah, let's make sure, let's go to GitHub, to that talent index. Fork it. Right now, I see only 3 of us have forked it. Guys, let's fork the repo. Let's play around this, and then we will be able to move on nicely. I think someone has raised their hand. Let me see.
Yeah, it's me actually. So I just wanted to share. I noticed that most of us are not able to scan QR code. So if it's possible, you can drop the link in the chat. So I've also dropped a couple of links in the chat, like several links in the chat. Just if maybe if I can share my screen real quick, just so that I can share the events page, that'd be great.
Sure.
Cool.
Sure, sure.
Perfect. So I've just noticed that we have low rate in scanning, but a high rate in clicking the link. So I'm just sharing this in case anyone feels it's comfortable or it's easier for them to scan the QR code. However, I've dropped this link in the chat for you to actually explore and start diving deep into this. So thank you so much, Joseph. Thank you so much, Silas, for taking us through this session. Really, really find these sessions. I feel like I always learn something new every time I join these sessions, which is good because we are all learning the process. Learning never ends, guys. So super happy that I could be able to learn from you, empower one another, being able to just like build solutions and ship. So guys, if you can be able to open the chat, I've dropped several links. So the first one that I have dropped is the link to join the WhatsApp chat. So if you're not able to actually access the QR code on here, feel free to join the WhatsApp chat right now because it takes you to our mini hub charts. This is where you get all the updates, all upcoming events, and all the upcoming notifications that you're planning for everything that is coming up. Also, we have a very big thriving community on Telegram. So the second link is joining you to Telegram. So please, if you can have the whole of 26 of us joining Telegram, that would be great. Also, the whole of 26 of us joining WhatsApp, that would be great. I've also attached the link to events. So this events link is the same QR code that I am presenting here. Once you click on this link, it will take you to this page, the one I'm presenting over here. And what I need you to do is just to scroll over to resources. Once you get to resources, you will see all these links that you have linked here. So this should be your go-to platform from now henceforth. You should see the Build a Sub account, Telegram, WhatsApp again, X. So we have the session 6 quest over here. We have the faucet link that I showed you before. We have presentation links. So if you want to catch up with Joseph's presentation, this is where you can be able to get all this information just for the sake of you being able to just do research and just go deep into learning. Again, I have linked here the recording. So this is the link to all our recordings. So this is where you please. I feel like if you're joining the sessions, you definitely need to know where to get all this information so that frequently asked questions, these FAQs shouldn't be like, where can I get recording? Where can I get presentation? Where can I get faucets? All of this is here. So we expect you to ask progressive questions, not these kind of questions where we've already shared with you where to get all this information. Again, I would love to connect with you all. So feel free to connect with me, and I'll be happy to reconnect with you. Again, very, very important. I have linked here the session 7 starter kit. So this is the starter kit that Joseph has been taking us through. So the goal for you is to go in, fork that repo, start building on there. It gives you a really good fundamental infrastructure that you need for purposes of getting started to build on Avalanche. And then finally, we have the session 7 quest. So Silas has done a good job to put this together, and we all should actually complete this quest because this is really, really, really important for us to know that you are actually following through. So these are very, very important links that you have linked here. So for you to be able to have access to this, it's either you're scanning the QR code or accessing this link that I've shared in the chat. So I've also dropped my link here. So let's connect. If anybody that connects with me tonight, I'll just know that they're from MiniHack, and I'll be happy to reconnect with them back. So I've also shared the link to Autopay. So we are starting to do Founder Spotlight. And if you're here and you're a founder, let us know what you're building, especially the founders coming out from MiniHack, because we want to start spotlighting you, and charity begins at home. So why do we have to go outside to look for founders when you already have founders in-house that you want to spotlight? So everybody that graduates from this cohort, actually graduates as a senior developer. And that's the main goal. The main goal is for us to be able to empower you to be the founder that you think you are, to be able to build and shape and go to market. As I mentioned, we are aiming to take just 10 startups to market, which means we are willing to support you. We are willing to offer you all kinds of resources and documentation for you to be able to find it easier to get to market. Joseph had mentioned, so we have Jeff. So Jeff is part of our crypto lore portfolio, and he'll be joining in to take us through the legal compliance and licensing side of things for the next cohort. So in case you're here, you're building a solution and you want to take it to market, this is a very necessary session for you to actually be actively involved and actively participate, because it's going to answer so many of the questions that you will have ahead of this mini hack. So we hope that we will see you again on Thursday, same time, same place, Google Meet, that is, so that you can be able to get some insights from expertise in the space that's already dealing with most businesses that are looking into licensing, compliance, and even better, you're getting all of this for free, because I don't remember anyone on this call actually paying a dime to be here to get knowledge, to learn from this expertise. So this is a really good opportunity for you. So lest I forget, you also know that you are building in a very privileged cohort, because you are building within the cohort that understands exactly what you need. So in most cases, first-time founders think about product. It's okay to productize your solution. Second-time founders think about, community. But third-time founders think about distribution. And why you're here is because we understand all of that, and it's a leverage for you, because you are not only getting to build a product that actually goes to market, that has already been vetted and has already approved business model. You are also building within a community that offers you distribution. So take advantage of that. I don't know how else I could emphasize on this, but you should know that building or vibe coding is not even the main bottleneck or the main pain point, right? So you will build, you will vibe code. In this AI era, everybody can be a founder, everybody can build whatever solution that they want to build. But where the rubber meets the road is now when you want to now get that distribution. How do you plan to get your first 1,000 users? This is exactly what you're offering here, right? So we are offering you distribution, we are offering you a community, we are offering you a platform, we are offering you a support system, a whole operating system, just for you to be able to see the value of it, build, and actually go to market. And if I were you, I would literally take advantage of this. I really wish when I was starting out to build, I could get such opportunities. It's just a shame that we didn't get such opportunities, but you are one of the most privileged cohorts that you're getting such opportunities. You're getting to build with people that believes in your product, the same way you believe in your own product. So take advantage of this. This does not come twice, you know, it's now or never. So I hope you can take this opportunity and run with it. Okay, I also see Joseph has dropped more links on the chat. I think this is the link to a link tree. So feel free to click on that link tree and go explore those resources that he has put together. Jeff. No, it's not. Well, I don't know if it's you. Well, maybe it's not you. Are you a Timon collaborator? I don't know. But so we have so if it's not you, then you're gonna meet your namesake next week on this week on Thursday. So yes, he's a really talented or legal fanatic person. So super excited for this. Again, we have opportunities at Team One, and recruiters are always looking out for talent. I cannot emphasize this enough. If you're building anything, please build it in public. Nobody is willing to steal an idea that has not even generated any revenue. So what you're doing to yourself when you're building in silence, you're just doing yourself an injustice. The moment you put yourself out there, build in public, share publicly your wins, share publicly your struggles, people will come out and will want to support you. This is something that I am doing. This is something that I've done. This is something that I've experienced. And trust me, people support people that are already putting themselves out there. Well, you might not be able to find a co-founder, but trust me, you can find a company that is looking for that skill set, and it will be easier for them to hire you. Why? Because you're building in public, you're selling yourself. Once you start to share your product, what you're building outside, people see through it. People see beyond the product. People see the kind of technicalities that you put together. People see how you're putting yourself out there. And that is what goes a long way. Post on LinkedIn, post on X, tag Team One Africa. We're here to support you. We're here to amplify what you're building, because we cannot offer distribution to somebody that is not even out there yet. So we want to be able to jump on a already moving train, because everybody would like to jump on a already moving train. If a train is stagnant, if it's stopped, who knows when it's gonna go, when it's gonna go actually, nobody. But a train that is already moving, it's easier for people to jump on it and move with it. So if you're in this cohort and you're building anything, post it, talk about it, talk about the wins, talk about the gains, talk about the challenges you're facing, talk about the opportunities you're looking for. Ask publicly, what are you doing? What are you raising? You know, are you looking for users? Are you looking for people to join the wait list? Talk about it. And that's the only way you can be able to move the needle. Anyway, enough of my yapping. This has been a really good session, and it's actually our second last session. And next week we will be already shortlisting candidates or finalists to invite you into our incubation. And even better, we are planning our Founders Fellowship. This Founders Fellowship is not for everybody. It's just for the few founders that are demonstrating all these qualities. Founder market fit is a real thing. If you're here and you're a founder and you're not even willing to talk about your product, trust me, we will not also be interested to talk about your product, because we cannot talk about your product for somebody that is not even willing to go above and beyond to talk about it themselves, let alone selling the product. So if you're serious about taking a solution to market, start marketing it, start talking about it, yeah, and hopefully on Friday we get to meet in person, we get to understand the kind of pain points that you're facing, the bottlenecks, so we can be able to support you, because we're here to support you. Yeah, we are, because you are. So yeah, thank you all. Thank you everybody for your consistency. Thank you for showing up. Thank you to our amazing tutors. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Silas, and the entire technical team. Ronex, I see you. I don't know if there's anyone else from technical team, but it's okay. Also, the community portfolio has been doing an amazing job in sending you reminders, ensuring that every resource you need actually is shared to you. And shout out to you all that have been consistent in showing up for yourselves, because trust me, we are seeing this and we are taking note, and immediately get opportunities in our ecosystem. Trust me, you'll be the first person we reach out to. So our consistency, your consistent attendance, you continuing to learn a skill, you continuing to explore the Avalanche Academy, you continue to explore the Entrepreneur Academy, you continuing to build and shape it and going to market is not going unnoticed. We are noticing all of this, and we want to let you know that we appreciate you, and we want to encourage you to continue showing up for yourself, because yes, you are exactly who you think you are. So thank you all, and have a blessed night. Until next time, see you soon. Before I close the call, I don't know if there's anybody that would like to ask a question, share some feedback, or in case you have any concerns that you've experienced in this cohort, let us know, because yeah, this is a community that we like to empower one another to be better every single day. Yep. So I will just pause here for 1 minute and yeah, see who has something to share before I wrap up. Okay, I see Anthony. Yes, please.
Yes, I was just giving out a shout out to everyone. And okay, I'll speak more on Thursday. I'll save my question for Thursday. Thank you.
Okay, all right. I see you, Anthony. I think you are one of the most consistent people in our cohort, because it's feel like you joined one as I remember the first option when we started to say, drop in the charts where you are, where you're joining us from. I remember the very first you were still a newbie. So it's really good to see that you came from point A to point E, which means that's growth. And I'm super, super proud of you. I can't wait to see you taking your product to market, really. Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for trusting in the process. It's not easy. It's not easy, but you came, you saw, you believed, and you stayed. So shout out to you all. And yeah, I think if I start getting emotional again, let me wrap up this call. But see you all soon on Thursday this week, and then again on Friday this week at exactly 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. at Blockchain Center. Bring your friends, invite your friends, come with a team. Yeah, we want to encourage you all to have teammates and have buddies. So it's easier to build within a community and in a team. Yep. Well, I see Compass Drive. I don't know if you're raising your hand or if that was a mistake. Maybe it was a mistake. Okay, no problem. Cool. So Yes, Compass Dive says sorry. Yeah, I think it was a mistake. Okay, no problem at all. So thank you all and see you all soon. All the recordings, you know where to find them. So do not feel lost in this community. We want to ensure that everybody knows exactly where to find information. If you see somebody in the chat asking about where to get any information or any resource, please be that champion. Please share with them the link. If you have a link, please share with them a resource link and share with them a documentation. You know, we are looking out for one another, and that's the only way we can be able to scale and grow this community largely. Other than that, I appreciate you all again. And yes, have yourselves a fantastic night. Cool. So we will end the call now. And yeah, God bless you all.